Good morning. It is June 9th, 2023, 9 o'clock on a Friday. And this is Windows Daily number 234. Do a refresh over here and get a audio confirmation. Do a refresh. Yep. I'm going to go over to channel comments before going to the chat room because I missed going here yesterday. And this from George, SGTGJJ, from the Windows Daily 231 show. It says, good morning, Doug. Masks won't work on this air alert as they reported particles are so small that they go through the masks. That would be regarding the fires from Canada, that masks don't help them. I wonder about the N95 masks? When he says masks don't work, does that mean the traditional masks that we use for COVID, the normal masks, the N95 masks, or the higher quality ones? Maybe the full breathing apparatus thing helps with that, but you're not going to wear that. At least normal people aren't. And then this comment on the Comcast speed video from way back when, the YouTube name Mr. Dirty One. I was having this problem for about a year and a half. Let's see, I should make this bigger, right? I was having this problem about a year and a half. I had 4 techs come out. Not one of them could fix the problem. One of them even tried rewiring the house. It got so slow that it dropped down to 0.06%. I think that probably means 0.06 megabits per second. So I called again, and the tech came, looked around outside, and came in the house and replaced the little black plug in the wall outlet. Now the test says we're getting 114% of our 1200 megabits per plan. Well, since he uses percent down here, maybe this did mean 0.06%. It's just unusual to see internet speed measured as percentage. So that's interesting. I'd like to know what this little black plug is. Mr. Dirty One, I'd love for you to send me a photo of that. Here's my email address. What is that little black plug? Is it the plug on the end of your Ethernet wire? Is it the plug? Is it a connector for the coax connection? Since this was, did he say that this was? No, he didn't say this was a coax, a cable. So we don't know that. Yeah, send me a picture of that. I'd like to know more detail about that. And Mr. Dirty One, if you did not know, I do a live stream 6 days a week. And so I'm replying to you now during this live stream. And I will reply to him and give him a time link to this point in this video. Is anyone saying anything about his subject, that they had something similar? Yeah, so Mr. Dirty One, I'll let you know that I have the chat room active. We talk a lot to the chat room. And nope, don't see anything there about your topic. So now we're going to move along. There might be other comments that I might make or the chat room might make through the rest of this video. But we're going to go ahead and move on to other topics now. I'll be giving you a thumbs up and a heart, and I'll be replying to your comment with a timestamp for this point in this video. Although I guess by the time you hear me say that, you've already watched the video. So yeah. Tony Wallow, for yesterday's stream, says, nice stream, homie. When you ended, it cut off at 3, LOL. And that's when I was describing that if I end the stream in XSplit, when I click the button, the stream actually cuts off before I click the button. So I count 3, 2, 1, 0, click. And here's Tony saying it cut off at 3. That's when it ended. Whereas if I end the stream by coming over here to the YouTube studio and clicking in stream here, it's instantaneous, but you see me do the click, because I've done this before where I actually click on here and then click on this end button. Now, I'm not going to end the stream now, but when I click that one, you'll see me click it. If I do that in YouTube Studio, and it instantly stops the stream, and if there's a redirect program, it sends you right away to that other person's show, and therefore you can't chat anymore. Whereas if I end the stream in XSplit, you still have a few minutes before YouTube sends you to the other stream, because YouTube is waiting to see if I will resume sending stream content. Now I'm going to switch over to the chat room and talk to people there, respond to comments there. Go up to the top of that. Jeff says he was first, perhaps, but had to try the night before, LOL. So that was 7:54 p.m. last night. Now, it's often the case that when I come in to the stream, I can't see the messages from last night. So sometimes I'll even pin them if I notice. And I suspect if I were to, well, you know what, here's what I could do. I'll go to a new tab and I'll come to this stream. I'll go click on my link for this stream. And I want to see, that's already muted, if I can see comments, chat room from last night. Yes, I do. Well, what do you know about that? It's inconsistent behavior. Really? YouTube with inconsistent behavior? Oh, say it isn't so. You see it all the time. Eileen laughs at Jeff. You silly puppy. Here you go. Gives Jeff an award for being first. Now, Eileen was in last night. So a couple hours after Jeff. Tim says third again. Tim gives us this link here. I already have that pulled up over here. That's lawyers blame ChatGPT for tricking them into citing bogus case law. Really? Lawyers are going to put the blame on ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a new thing. They start using it without researching how accurate it is, and they are lawyers? Are you kidding me with that? That's like if they go down to the corner and talk to some homeless guy on the street corner, and the homeless guy gives them some advice, and they take that advice into the court and quote whatever the homeless person told them. Really? You're not going to research your sources? Every resource on the internet, if they go Google something and find a Google search result and go to that, you've got to research whether that is reliable. You cannot just count on what they tell you. A lawyer? Are you kidding me? Blaming ChatGPT? They should be laughed out of the courtroom. Nick Poverman, I started a poetry club in prison. It had pros and cons. Parker Morris, hi Doug. William Dawson, hello from Florida, 5th. William says hello to a couple of people. Josh Kinder says hello. William Dawson saying hello. People saying hellos to each other. And chit chat. Tim Sal got back from shipping Ken's package. So Tim sent a package to Ken Stout. We should be able to we should be finding out about that within the next, few days or weeks? How long is it going to take it to get to Ken? Josh says, so just so people know, that is not my dog in the photo. It belongs to someone else on YouTube. I'm pretty sure he's talking about the photo in his profile icon on the left here. It looks like there's a little white poodle. Well, it looks, my impression is that it's a big poodle. We can find out and have a closer look at it by clicking over here on the 3 dots and go to Josh's channel. I think we see a bigger image of it. No, it's not a big dog. It's not a poodle. I'm sorry, that dog's going to be really angry with me for calling it a poodle. That would be an offense to that dog, I'm sure. And I got me some of that free coffee from Tim. William, hope you enjoyed William to Tim. Hope Ken enjoys the package. By the way, last check, a few minutes before I started, Ken does not have a show, but I do have the redirect set up on Fridays, always, to go to Carrie Holzman's Friday show. And Mitch Morrison is going to be with him today, as I understand. So that's going to be fun. I think he will love it. Surprise birthday present. Alice, hi all. I've got some stuff to talk about Alice's ongoing situation. And I've got an email from I think it was Mark, that we're going to talk about too, with his issues. Ran Israel Oystein, Eileen, good to see you, Eileen. She says hi to the group. Selden Ball giving us a weather report. Do I like the new season of Fortnite? So far, yeah, I like it. We're playing it very different. I'm playing with viewers, and I'm playing aggressively, going after kills rather than points. And we were all kind of spread out around the map today, so that didn't really go as well as I had envisioned. Eileen saying hello to Alice. Nick Pilgrim in the KN95 masks work for the fire. The fire department in my town said they work and was handing them out to people. Handing out K95 masks. Wow. They are significantly more expensive than a normal mask. And of course, at the beginning of COVID, nearly impossible to get. Hellos back and forth between people. Oh, my chat just jumped on me. Where was I? Tim says, cool shirt. Shirt. I think this is the first time you've seen me wear this. I wore it on camera a long time ago. Maybe when I was doing my broadcast on my DougBetts channel, rather before I created the live Windows training. I had this shirt made thinking that this would be the name of the channel, Computer Age Training, rather than Live Windows Training. And it's since the letters CAT spell cat, there's a logo there of a cat. Yeah, it never really sat well with me, so I haven't been wearing the shirt. Kind of like the shirt, but that name didn't really take for me. Speedy C, Bobby Warren, he's got a watch. Elevator Doug is missing $500 reward, dead or alive. Brian Lightfoot, hello from Brian. Ken Stout, actually it will allow chat for 3 more minutes. I have no idea about the redirect, except that to me it's around 3 minutes due to the autoplay being off. Yeah, if you get redirected to whoever I'm redirecting to, if I in the stream in the YouTube studio, my tests say that you get sent right away to that other show. If you go back in DVR mode, or I think there's a button to click to prevent it from sending you to the other show, then you can continue chatting for a little while. But if you get sent, then it's done, over with. John Williams, have you ever seen a computer that's brand new cut the screen in half like in Carrie's show yesterday? Yeah, Carrie's show yesterday, I was watching that and interacted a little bit in chat. He got a little bit annoyed with me at one point. I asked a question that he did already cover, but I had been listening the full time. And I think my mind just must have got distracted, because what he had done is, after he did the Windows updates, he did test, and I missed that piece, even though I was listening full time. And he said to me, well, there's DVR mode, you can go back and look. So does that mean I have to go back and re-watch the whole video before I ask any question? Because I was listening the whole time. All right, well, I found that frustrating. Brand new screen. Yeah, it wasn't a problem with the screen. It was his capture card. It was the way the computer was sending the signal to his capture card. That was clearly the case, because when he connected directly to a monitor, it was perfect. It was fine. When he uninstalled all of the display adapter software, then it worked right through his capture card. Is it good? Is it okay to send the computer out to the client with that? I say yes, because I think it's a problem with the display adapter driver not getting along with his capture device. Well, the end user's not going to need that. So I'd have no problem at all sending that out. But that's me. Ken Stout, I need to charge my watch. Lazy nitwit lawyers. That's 907. Let's scroll down this way. How far behind am I? There's the lawyers. I need to move on to topics. I hear you, Doug and Alex are going to play virtual golf. Any truth to that rumor? From Brian to Ken. I hear that you, Doug, and Alex. Nope, no truth to that rumor. At least not that I know of. Greg M., your channel is the only channel I am subscribed to that has the fan funding option in the chat pull down. Even Carrie's channel does not have that option in the chat. My understanding is those features, unlike this, I've got to turn my picture off. I have this heart button on my own channel. My understanding is that YouTube's rolled that out on whatever frequency that they rolled it out on, meaning it's only active on certain channels or it's only active for certain viewers. Let's see, when I was on Carrie's channel yesterday, I think it was, I was explaining that heart thing in the bottom right corner to somebody, this thing over here, and how to interact with it. And somebody else on Carrie's stream said they don't see that. So it's like, is it only certain YouTube users are seeing it? Or is it that it's only showing up on certain channels? And Greg M is saying, my channel is the only one he's subscribed to that he sees the fan funding option in the chat pull down. Is that what he refers to as the chat pull down? I don't think so, because none of those are funding. See, those just do these floaties up above. So I think the fan funding, I don't get to see it, right? I don't think I get to see the fan funding thing. 2 days maybe for package, that shipping. Bobby DeCan, I'm going to set up my watch in an hour, let it charge 100%. Not responded to my request yet. That was to me. On the fourth try, I got the win. Let's see, Nicholas Hook is saying that was to me. On the fourth try, I got the win. What is the, oh, this stupid thing coming up on the right again. When I click, oh, I got to click down here to get rid of that. So Nicholas Hooks was, what was he talking about? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at some. Oh, do you like the new season of Fortnite? That was to me on the fourth try, I got the win. I'm not sure what that was. Anyway, moving on. Brian says, good morning, everyone from the Central Valley of California. Ken, I will take a shirt that says Ken Stout Live with homing size XL. Well, you can order it yourself. I got a speed upgrade in my area. It's a Cat 6 shirt. Cat 6. I never once thought of that. I never once made the connection of computer age training to Cat 6, as in category 6 Ethernet cable. Never dawned on me. Eileen says, good mornings. Talk about Top Chat, live chat fan funding. Top Chat. Oh, fan funding here. Oh, okay. I see. That's where that is. So I haven't checked on that on other channels, but where was that comment? Yeah, whatever they were saying was that they only see it on my channel for that fan funding. And did he say he doesn't see it on Carrie's channel? Wasn't that was it a Mark? Was it a Mike? I'm sorry, I don't remember. Oh, funding. If I do funding, I would. Oh, Greg M. See that it's a four-letter name. If I would have thought of searching for the word funding instead, I would have not given away that I forgot the name. Your channel is the only channel I'm subscribed to that has fan funding option in the chat pull down. Even Carrie's channel does not have that option in chat. Yeah, I think they're just rolling it out to see how it works out. They'll put it out on some channels. There's probably at random that they choose which channels to see if it works or gets much acceptance. Dennis dropping a comment here while he's watching Hexona. Did I hear my own voice during Ken's fish tank cam a while ago? Oh, so that would have meant that Ken actually was watching our Fortnite play and it got picked up by his fish tank cam. Possible. I don't see the emoticon fly out menu that you showed, so Selden's not seeing that. And Rand Israel explaining where the top chat is or where that fan funding is. I'm not seeing floating things today. Well, yeah, when you go to the eye doctor and they ask if you see the floating things in your eyes, that's a good thing, right? It's just weird to me that I can do these floating things in my own chat room. I'm not seeing the floating things in the fish tank. Yes, you did. I struggled to get that going and had errors. So Ken said, yeah. He says, yeah, we did hear Dennis's voice. That would have been weird. Hello, Roy Carr. I'm caught up with chat. So I'm going to go. I got 2 technical things to respond to. And I'm going to hold Alice's to second because I think this other one is going to be quicker. Let me zoom this up a little bit and see if I can hide his email address. Yes, I did. This is from Paul Field, who shows up in chat as Paul F. And he says, hi, Doug, longtime viewer and occasional questioner. I hope we are not alone with this problem, but maybe we are. We have a static caravan mobile home as a holiday retreat. Now, his email implies that he's in the UK. The on-site Wi-Fi is excellent with line of sight through glass, but dreadful if no sightline. We have no access to the router, so no LAN, only Wi-Fi signal. Cell phone signal is also dreadful. I suspect we are in a Faraday cage essentially. Now I'm guessing that your mobile home is probably made out of metal, so that's making it difficult for the Wi-Fi signal. When you move your device in front of a window that is in line with the Wi-Fi transceiver that's out there somewhere, you get a good connection. But as soon as you move away from the window and it's going through metal, you're in trouble. Hang on a moment. Okay, unmuted, confirmed unmute work. We have no access to the router. Cell phone signal is dreadful. We are pensioners and cannot find the right search term to find a solution. Perhaps a glass-mounted or roof-mounted receiver and repeater inside the home unit would fix it if it were even possible. Do you have any ideas? Many thanks if it poses an interesting problem to solve. Yes, it's an interesting problem. And my ideas for that is you can put a simple Wi-Fi antenna up on top of the mobile home with a USB cable long enough to connect to the USB port on a laptop if you only have one laptop, for instance. So you'd want to get a Wi-Fi adapter, USB Wi-Fi adapter with a long enough wire to reach up to the top. A better solution, if you have multiple devices, which I suspect is the case, to get a Wi-Fi unit. What am I trying to say? Not a repeater. You could use a repeater, but it's not a hotspot. Access point. Simple Wi-Fi access point that has an Ethernet port. Normally, you would plug the Ethernet into your network, and the antenna would send the signal out to your devices. Well, you can run that backwards. You could put if you can get the one that has an antenna, a remote antenna that you could put up on top of your mobile home would be ideal. You could put it in front of the window, but I think it'd be better on top. And then it connects to your access point, and then you can have an Ethernet cable coming from the Ethernet port on that to your own in-trailer, in-mobile home router. And it can be, maybe it has its own Wi-Fi, so it brings a signal in through the WAN port on that router, and then you can broadcast your own network IP addresses in your own network, your own Wi-Fi SSID. So it can be your own name, your own password, so that you have your own Wi-Fi service inside your mobile home. We call it mobile home? Yeah, inside the caravan. And it's not going to be shared with anybody else. But its WAN port is connected to the access point or some other kind of, there's lots of different kinds of devices, and some people may be putting into chat, or we can help do a search for that on a future show as far as what device to use. I just want to get you this understanding that you can receive a Wi-Fi signal in an access point and deliver that through Ethernet to your own caravan devices, such as your own router, connected to the WAN port of the router, broadcast your own Wi-Fi signal inside the metal Faraday cage, if we're going to call it that. Okay, now I'm going to move on to Alice's issue, which was, let me bring up, I had flagged some tabs. Now, since I don't need to end at 9:30, I can go over time. I'm going to go open some tabs that I had saved regarding her issue. And let's see, I'm looking for something else. I think I had another save. Did I? Yes, I did have another save. Yes, I received an email from Alice with information about the computer. So we're going to go over that. Here's the email. It says, "Hi, Doug. I have attached the information regarding the specs of my PC. Thank you for your help." And Alice. Now, I've already downloaded these once, but I'm going to download them again so they're right at the top of my downloads folder and show you what information we got from there. But I have quite a bit more ideas of what Alice could do here. Now, I'm going to take that off screen while I go open those. So I don't show the rest of what's in my downloads folder. Usually I don't care about that kind of stuff, but yeah, here we go. So here's what we got. Here's the about page. There's the name of the computer, Idea Center. We knew it's an all-in-one based on Lenovo, so it's a Lenovo all-in-one. I'm going to take it. 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is a little bit low, and I have high suspicion that that's part of what's going on based upon what I'm going to clue you in about this Sims. I think it's the Sims 4 game that she's playing. Let's see. There's no show. This was my timer reminding me to give you the link to Ken Stout's show, but he doesn't have a show coming up, right? Let's go verify that. YouTube Tools, Windows Daily, Ken Stout. Make sure he hasn't put up a show. No, he hasn't. So then come back to these pictures. What else do we care about? i5 7400, 2.4 gigahertz, which he told us about. Now then, right arrow key to go to the next photo. Here is the device manager. Now, any of you that want to go back and study this more, you can go back after I'm done with the broadcast and look for this in more detail. But I didn't really find much in here of interest. The Intel HD graphics 630, I'm pretty sure that is a CPU-based graphics rather than a dedicated graphics inside the computer. But since it's an all-in-one, that could be a dedicated graphics display driver. I'm not adapter. I'm not sure. And there's your Seagate hard drive. We knew already it's a spinning hard drive. This other device has several things in the other devices section. So that means things that don't have drivers correctly functioning. Could be causing a problem. There's an exclamation mark on the Kaspersky security data escort adapter. But I don't think the problem is in here. I've got a theory of what I think the problem is going to be. When I describe it, we're going to be waiting to get a response from Alice about that. Let's see, why am I not getting to the next picture? Come back here. Let's see, the next picture is, because it's not a picture. It was text. It's the text output from MS Info, and I told Alice incorrectly. I had her do the export, which exports a text file, whereas if you do save, it'll save as a data file that I can open into MS Info 32 and actually maneuver through the pages. So here's this page. I'm just going to go down one page at a time so that anyone who's interested in finding more detail here about her computer can come in here and look at this. But you can see how small this scroll box is. I'll click down one page worth, next page worth, next page worth. So it takes quite a while to get through this. A lot of this stuff we're not interested in. So there's some interesting stuff. I really don't think the solution's going to be in here though. So let me move on and not spend a whole lot of time here. If we do need to come back to this based upon Alice's response, then we'll do that at a later date. So I did a little research about this Sims 4 game to understand a little bit about it, and I looked through these some of these frequently asked questions about what can I do if my computer's slow or if my experience with the game is slow. I'm not going to click through those now, but just point out that what I could do is go put this link into chat for those of you who want to go look at that. But I'm going to suggest don't go do that just yet. Stick with me. Let's see. FAQs for Sims 4. And since I'm not real familiar with the game, I'm not entirely certain that I've got the right one that she's using. But then I went and looked at some YouTube things. I did a search. Sims 4 is sluggish over recent months. So there's some YouTube videos about that. I looked at some of that. And then over here, this one in particular is try this fix if your Sims 4 game is laggy. You're not hearing the audio of this, but since this is a short, I'm going to show you this much. They say go into the Documents folder, Electronics Arts folder, and then find this folder called, waiting for her to get to the right one, user data log. It's hard to read through here. She's telling us to go to this folder. It's a cache folder to actually delete it because it deletes your cache in the game. And so I'm going to put this URL, this link. When you're listening to her, you can tell what the folder name is. Okay, so I'm going to call this cache folder to delete. But I still am suspecting that's not the solution. That very well could be the solution for Alice. Now I'm going to come back to the next thing that I have here. How does the Sims 4 work, and why are Sims sometimes slow? This one had some very interesting information, and that's Ken Stout's show. So I'm going to give this link in chat also. How Sims 4 works. Now, before you go look at that, I'm going to explain what I understand about it. What happens in Sims 4 is you can create these different Sims, different things that happen, and you can add more and more and more. See, all these people in here, I think, are all separate Sims. So as you add more and more Sims, more and more simulations to your game, you are placing higher demands on your computer. And that's going to cause sluggishness. So I'm wondering if Alice has added more and more Sims to her implementation of the game over time without realizing that they cause troubles to happen. Now, some of the things that can happen is each of these Sims are doing their own thing, and when it's overwhelming your computer, you'll see one of these characters actually walk right through another character. But they're designed, if your computer's able to keep up with it, they are designed to go around other characters in the game. But when your computer doesn't have enough processing power, then they start messing up and doing things incorrectly, even to the point where they start dying and getting sick. Now, yeah, see, these are kind of looking like not vampires. What's the other word? Not ghosts, but when they're half dead people. They're wearing out running down of energy because their Sims aren't able to keep up. Your computer's not able to keep up with each of the Sims. Now, a way to evaluate if your computer's having trouble is to use hardware info. So here's hardware info. Hang on a moment. I've had this running all morning through my Fortnite game. And the CPU cores, these are all my 16 CPU cores. Each core has 2 threads. And you can see the maximum. I have a lot of cores that have been up into the 90s. Only I think it's 5 cores that have been into 100. This 100 at the bottom isn't part of the CPUs. So here's 2 100s, 2 100s, and 1 100. That was the case, hang on, before I started Fortnite. So through Fortnite, none of them got up to 100. Now I think that's because Fortnite balances itself really well between the different cores. You'll see cores over here on the left reach 100, and then they'll go back down. And this is all has to do with the computer balancing your processes across different CPU cores and threads. Now, that's a deduction on my part. I have not studied how Windows moves processes around between different threads and cores, but that appears to be the case because you see so much variation on these as your computer is running. Now, Alice, if you would watch these while you have your Sims running, they kind of automatically run without you doing anything, is my understanding. I'd like for you to watch these numbers and see what's going on. And if you have a lot of your cores and threads showing maximum 100 and actually current in the current column, right up here shows current. If they are high, that tells us that your computer is having a difficult time keeping up. Now, it could be the case if Sims 4 doesn't move the processes around to balance out at these different threads very well, you might find that you have a third of your cores kind of holding very high in the high 90s or even 100%, and they're not getting relief. The way this ought to work is that here's a core at 100, and then it goes down to 78, and now it's 1.5. You see how quickly it went from 100 way down. That's because Windows realized, oh, this core, this thread on this core is overutilized right now. So we're going to move those processes somewhere else. There may be multiple processes active in that core thread right now. And Windows goes and moves those to other core threads once it gets into the high numbers. So the behavior you should see here is that nothing stays up in the high numbers, probably 70 or 80 or above. That doesn't stay very long. But if your computer is not balancing that out very well, that may be what's going on. Now, you may be able to get back to good performance just by removing some of your Sims so that you don't have so many Sims active in your game. So those are my thoughts at this point. Let's see what feedback we get back from Alice. I have 2 active households, but not many characters anymore. Yeah, so what happens if you reduce that down? Now, I don't know, can you save the game with those 2 active households and then save it under a different name and eliminate one of the households and see how the performance is? So you still have your saved game that has the 2 households? Or are you only stuck with, you have 1 game and that's all you have to work with? Can you save different games, one that has the 2 households and more characters in it? Thank you so much, Alice says. You are welcome. This has been an interesting thing for me. Alice says thanks there and going back up. So we'll see what kind of feedback we get from Alice on another day. Now, tomorrow's show, Saturday's show, we have the Zoom room open. We're a 2-hour-long show. It starts how many hours later? 4 hours later than today's show started. Now, I haven't been reading through chat, and I'm not going to because I'm already over time, but I will read through all of the chat messages after I end the stream. Cache folder definitely is the easiest and no cost. You can just do that, and that might be an instant benefit, particularly if you've been having that game play for a long period of time. That cache folder might be a very instant fix. So Brian, you're right on point there. Let's see, Ready Boost, that's on a different topic. Reasonable amount of RAM. Yeah, the amount of RAM seems low to me. It does meet the minimum requirements because I did look at that, and I think it's even better than the minimum requirements. Did I in this here in the frequent questions? I think it was in. Is it in here? Platform available, persistence, require, brings, rating, minimum. Here's minimum and recommended. So we'll go look at both of those so that I can show the audience. Minimum is 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now let's go back and recommended. Now I also saw some people criticizing this recommended as being too low. It says 8 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, minimum to do what? Or recommended to do what? How complex of a game can you get into? How many months can you be running that simulation? And that's a question for Alice. How long have you been running this simulation? This simulation in terms of months or weeks. That might have something to do with it. Core i5, she has 1 gigabyte of video RAM. We don't know if we have that. This is a video card, so they're recommending a dedicated video card. I don't know yet. Somebody may already know whether that's a dedicated video card. On the minimum required video, 128 megabytes of video RAM, supported video cards. Yeah, that's not really saying that it's minimum required to have a dedicated video graphics card. Now, you may have already answered that for me. I haven't read through the chat yet. I will read through it. We will be moving forward with Alice's issue because I'm sure she'll, even if what we said today fixes the problem for us, I'm sure she'll come back and let us know. All right, that's it. I'm going to end the stream here. I'm clicking to end in XSplit, so you should be able to continue chat and until YouTube realizes that the stream is over. And if YouTube auto redirects you to Carrie's show, it's going to take you to his thumbnail. But I think you can click to decline going to that with a button in there. If you roll the DVR back a little bit and click pause, you should be able to continue longer too. All right, catch you all tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. And here's my email address one last time. I'll do a countdown again. It's 3210 click. I actually click on the word click. 3, 2,